Is that for contact tracing purposes?
Yeah, so contact tracing wise, we're probably going to have some sort of a sign-in book so that we keep track of who was there when anyway. The question is, do we want to allow people in from Binghamton, you know, what do we set it at, you know? Like, do we allow anybody in as long as they log in the book, or do we, the CDC says you should make some effort to only allow local people to your...
If you have people visiting from other family members, you're going to have
I think the sign-in is a good idea, to put down their name and where they're from, because this is not over. And when it gets bad, we got to realize, we got to figure out who was in that pool on what specific date, and they can contract it, whatever, to where other people, you know how it goes. So
we also have to realize, you know, in addition to Charles's point, we also have to realize that whatever rules we put in place are going to have to be enforced by potentially high school students. You know, 17-year-old kids. We're going to have to tell people from Binghamton that they can't be at the pool. So.
Right. Yeah, so we don't want to make it too hard on our lifeguards either. I mean, we don't want to cause conflict and then pool riding at the people.
Pool riding.
Rusty.
I'm not a big fan in general of limiting things. We've done various things since we built that pool for, once again, 50 years ago, 60 years ago. We've done various things about who can come in and who can't come in. I'm not a big fan of limiting. So at the very most, in my general opinion, that I would want to limit that pool would be Tioga County. Be difficult, otherwise we got people, town of Owego, town of Tioga, all around us. But I'm not a big fan of limiting at all, but that would be about as big a limit.
I think what Rusty's saying is reasonable.
I was thinking along the same lines. I don't know how we tell somebody from Boone County they can't come, but I mean,
Boone County got rules.
We can do it, it's just not going to be
You just have to
pleasant
post
for
these
kids.
things.
right.
Right, we have no way of proving that they're from where they say they are, so how do we even enforce this?
Well, yeah, you can put down
Yeah,
the
I'm from
address.
Temple Street.
Yeah.
I really live in Binghamton.
Well, this is a small town, people know each other. I pretty much know who's in the pool, where they're from, governed by how they act.
Like somebody else that brought up in here, we have family members visiting from Endicott, we're going to the pool, they have to look outside.
Well, yeah, you have company and you go out, you know.
Why is that different? They don't live in Tioga County. So, I mean, where are we going to draw this line? I agree with you, it's a slippery slope.
I mean, I think it's more, we need to try and limit it, but it's more important maybe to get their real name and their real address. So that if anything happens, you know what I mean?
We gotta have accountability.
Trying to get a straight answer out of the kids.
Rusty, we need badges. Well, we've had badges and passes in the past. Once again, whatever we do is not going to be perfect or whatever. We could do something, and once again, enforcing it is difficult. You bluff enforce it to whatever degree, but you could make it Owego residents and their families and guests and their family or guests and whatever Tioga County does. You can write it some way to try and get it, but you're just trying.
To urge them to be honest.
That's all you're doing.
Because if we need to track names, it's got to be a valid list.
Right. And I mean, it's not a requirement to track names, that's just a thing we should do, I think. Because eventually the health department is going to come say, who was in your pool on Wednesday? Because we had a positive test.
So if they're going to want to use your pool, they're going to fill the sheet up.
Right. Rusty?
Hey, Superintendent and Director, when you're talking about all this stuff, talk about that and give us a recommendation.
I don't know, Jeff.
I think he muted you.
Yeah, I muted you. No, I think we really need to.
As far as our guest staff, we're going to do that. You know, I can tell you that people use the pool from Pennsylvania, from Binghamton, from
Yeah.
But if you want my lifeguards to tell some guy in the street kids that they can't be there, my phone will be ringing because I'm sure they're not going to be happy. And lifeguards know that if there's a problem, they need to call me. Just keep that in mind. I mean, I understand what you're all saying, but the other thing is the pool's not at capacity. The way that the state wrote it, capacity is if there's a group of 10 that are together, they can be together. If they're family members or have been together, then if there's another group, they have to stay 6 feet away from the first. We haven't quite figured out how we're going to make that happen.
Yeah.
Just as a whole.
You know, even 5 people are going to be all over the place.
Put in a box of kittens.
I mean, it's just, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we need to limit the number of people in the pool at a time. Or that come into the pool area.
Well, that'd be part of it, I think. I mean, we want to be able to, only gonna be able to hold so many people in the pool area.
And that's where I think having Jeff and the pool director really, because they know best about
Right.
how the workflow is going to be and capacity and all that.
But what I was gonna say before is, this is my opinion. I think there are some people that spend all their time at the pool. And so I think we should limit the period of time a group can be in the pool. So the pool is closed down after 2 hours, you have to leave and new people can come in.
So we can kind of, I mean, we'll talk about this with Jeff and the pool director, but we can kind of not directly do that, but kind of do that with the cleaning schedule.
Yeah, that's good.
So we're gonna have to close down for longer to clean these bathrooms on a schedule.
So everybody just leave the whole area.
Will more or less just deter people from hanging around all day. Because you're not gonna hang out there if you gotta wait longer.
I think we're gonna get pushed back with the 12 and under, because it's used as a babysitter
Right,
most of the summer.
right,
It's affordable, because it's free.
yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility to put on these 16, 17-year-old kids. So, I mean, that's why I am in agreement with the 12 and under, for that reason.
Right. Christie?
So can we allow the director and the superintendent to do their job and do this stuff? Because once again, we're going to keep thinking of more things we can spend the rest of the night on the pool.
Yeah.
We're going to do that. And last piece for Ron is that, and everybody, this is going to be a semi-nightmare for those 16, 17-year-old lifeguards to try and enforce any of this stuff. So we'll be prepared that this is not going to be easy.
So, should we put together a committee of us, maybe Charles, me, I don't want to be on it?
You already looked at me.
I know.
You said eye contact earlier.
People that, go to the pool, hang out at the pool, whatever. Help Jeff and the pool director, Rachel's her name, follow as many of these guidelines, obviously all the state ones and as much of the CDC as we can reasonably follow, and come up with a plan.
I think that's a great idea.
And then it wouldn't fall on Jeff, right? The pool director can lean on us three as well.
Because I know when I'm there, I let the lifeguards know, they know who I am.
Right.
And if they have any problem while I'm there, they can come see me.
Yeah, they don't know who I am too, so.
So I think that's a great idea. Let's do that. Let's put this to bed. I don't want to talk about this a whole lot. I don't want us to charge for people to go to the pool. So when you're putting that together, I prefer we did not do. Don't
I
spend
did
a lot of time on
research.
that.
Sure. I did research, well, actually, Kim did, but we've researched what other pools in this area are doing. A lot of them charge, but a lot of them are also closed. So this whole out of the area thing may actually crop up because there's not a lot of public pools open this year.
If we have trouble, we'll change it.
Yeah.
I think when it was originally built, it was said we couldn't have charged.
But we've charged on and off over the years. We've charged to get to the pool at various times. But I would like to get a sense from the board whether charging is something they're interested in. I just told you I'm not. If the board is not interested in that, I don't want the committee to spend 10 minutes on that.
No, I mean, I think charging would generate a little bit of money, but it's not gonna generate enough money to offset the inconvenience of trying to.
$1,000, $2,000, nothing. Is that the general consensus of the people on the board that they're not interested in charging for this pool?
Yeah. And we make the possibility of somebody coming in, well, I paid to be in here, you can't look.
It's an expense to the village, but I think it's a nice service that we offer.
And I would hate to turn any kid away. I mean, people need cooling down during the summer, but this is a new thing. It's a pandemic.
It's always a trip.
Oh, yeah, the crick, right? That's our school.
Let's move again.
Let's move along.
All right, so that's about the pool. Next items are department head reports. Blue Robin, she's here with us.
Oh, God. Okay. So we've had 120 calls in May. And so as you can see, that's quite a spike up again. And like I mentioned Monday night, that it's hard for us as EMS when family members want to jump in the ambulance and go with their families because they cannot. Hospital will not allow them in. We aren't going to have them in, but hopefully somewhere down the track we'll be able to do that. But at this point, things have come up, and I don't think people realize that they can't have their family members there until they get there, and then it's kind of a shocker. But we got the plumbing and wiring done downstairs for the washer and dryer, so that's done now. And I was going to ask, did we signed and sent that agreement to Kander?
I think so. Yeah, I signed it a couple of weeks ago.
Well, I didn't know if it got sent, because I haven't talked to her, but I just was going to ask before I did.
Yeah, we'll follow up on it, but yeah, I know I signed it.
And we haven't heard anything about the territory with that, how far along we've gotten with that.
We are, I think, nearly done looking at the documents that you guys sent over. It hasn't been, the first item of priority at this point. We're plugging away at it.
Well, it kind of is for our financial, as to what we are actually able to cover, so it kind of is to us, but. Also, before, Monday night, I gave you guys copies of the new SOGs for the 3-year CME-based recertification program. Did everybody get a chance to look at it? Okay, so basically we need approval from the board to go ahead with this change.
Everybody look at it, I know Robin has to know.
Is that online program or in-person training?
At this point, it is both. Tioga County sent out a notice today where there is absolutely nothing being done in Tioga County right now. The Tioga County coordinator has been eliminated the position because of the COVID. So now people have to go to Binghamton to take any EMT classes, first responders, but we do have instructors amongst our members. Several of them, in fact. So we should be able to maintain our CMEs in-house. So that's the purpose of this as well, so that we can continue to do our service for our members. Because it's, Binghamton's not right around the block and nobody wants to go to Binghamton, they can avoid it to go to Broome County to take a...
Yeah, I did talk to emergency management about them offering classes for EMS and fire in Tioga County, and didn't hear a whole lot back.
Now, the email came out today from Mike Simmons in regards to that, so it's not good at this point at all. So
So is this something we have to pass?
yes.
Yeah.
Fran, you're the
Okay.
commissioner, are you familiar with this? And is this something that you reviewed and are happy with?
Yeah, Robin handed it out last,
Yeah.
our workshop, but just for us to look over.
Oh, yeah.
Seems pretty clear cut.
Okay.
Yeah, so it looked okay to me.
Okay, I recommend the board accept the training program as stated.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Someone out will be getting it.
Yeah, I did.
Does anybody have any questions about the CME SOG, we'll call it? All right, so we vote on it, Ron?
Yes.
Rusty?
Don't like to vote on things I'm not familiar with. Yes.
If you have questions, the person that, was in writing that is online.
It should have been your power from last week.
Fran?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm still,
Charles?
Yes.
Ed? Still going?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
And yes from me.
So you made an extra copy of that.
So, yes, and yes, gonna be the
Extra copy of that.
remind me.
I've got an extra copy.
this is my only copy.
Yep. Honey, I always have your back.
That's good. Thank you.
Anything else, Robin?
Yes, I need to resend a comment from Monday night in regards to the contract with Tioga. I've gotten feedback from different places, so this time Robin went to the source and got the correct answer. The correct answer was that the number of calls was given and it got apparently misplaced along the way. So it got redone and hand-delivered to the commissioner, and then the check will be sent out. So that's the hard part when you're hearing from different agencies, different things, whatever. So anyhow, I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay.
And I guess it's probably, is it the commissioner's job to do for application, or is it mine?
Either. Or,
I'd say you as captain should do it.
Okay, well, we have, Will Roden has,
Is your new member, you're saying?
this is, yes, Will Roden. We have the rest of the family, and like I said before, we're pretty much family-based. And in this particular case, we have his son, we have his daughter-in-law, we have his grandson and his granddaughter. And he'd be the last of the family to be joining us, and I think that's awesome to have a whole family engaged like that. He is a retired individual, also with Appalachian as well. He is critical care. I have all of his information for you, Rod. He's been doing this for several years. Very knowledgeable man. I think of seniors as knowledge. I don't think of them as anything else. That's always been my thing. I learned so much from providers that have been doing this for years, and he helped with ALS classes and stuff like that. So he's a very knowledgeable man, and I feel he'd be a good fit for us.
okay.
Okay, well, I would recommend that William J. Roden Jr. be accepted as an EMS provider.
You're making that motion?
Yes.
Second?
Okay. Any discussion on him? Okay. Rob?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Ed?
Here, I'll pass this one over.
Yeah, this is gonna have to.
You keep that one. Give that to
Laura?
Rod.
What do you think?
Yes. I'm a yes.
Okay. Ed, are you still there?
He's on.
He's on, but you, I mean,
Wake up,
yes.
Ed.
You must have left a picture of yourself in there.
Turn off his camera, but he's still there.
He's not here.
I'm abstaining.
Yeah, I guess it's abstaining.
No,
Comes back, we'll vote.
falls under public comment, but I'm not going to do it that way. With your lifeguards that you have for the pool, I don't know what training you have for them other than probably just your usual first aid. I don't know if you're going to be using thermometers on these people before they go in like they're doing everywhere else.
It's not a requirement.
Didn't say it on the health committee.
We have to post a sign that says if you're sick, you shouldn't come.
Okay, well, that's what I was just wondering if you would, because we have to with everybody else. But my concern is what they're going to use if they have to do mountain health.
Yeah, that's something we're going to have to look at for sure.
You know, if there's something that I can,
Yeah,
like, to let me know.
we'll get with you guys, 'cause
Yeah, because I don't want to.
Face shield or something.
I don't know what they have.
That might be a CDC guideline or something
Yeah.
like that.
we'll figure it out with you guys and whatever.
I'm just saying, we're offering up to, you know.
Keep our kids protected for sure.
Well, yes, absolutely, the lifeguards.
Not only the swimmers in the lifeguards.
Well, I'm not providing to the swimmers, but the lifeguards,
Serious stuff.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, they do go, they have to be certified lifeguard, there's a lifeguarding course.
Well, they obviously have.
CPR, right?
Yeah,
CPR.
plus CPR, AED, all that kind of stuff. So,
First aid.
Well, that's just my, you know, open-ended thought, you know, that there are other options out there. I don't know what they're using to put over the face to do, say, mouth to mouth.
yeah, I have no idea.
And so that was my concern.
We'll figure it out though.
Hopefully it never comes up.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have to use it.
Well, exactly. And by the way, saying that chlorine kills COVID's okay, but you're not breathing the water.
Right.
So, you know.
We're not drinking it either.
Yeah.
No, don't inject this.
I knew that was gonna open a can of worms, but anyway, no, I'm good.
There, anything else?
I'm good.
No drinking pool.
There, Jim, what do you got?
Just working on quotes to get the gutters repaired at Station 2. We found the water is leaking behind the gutter and behind the electrical box. Other than that, any update on the roof and any update on the Scott packs?
Scott Packs will be a Rodney question.
Well, we did send our latest, our AUD thing. I guess we'll talk about that tomorrow, see if we move that along.
And the roof?
We'll just, roof.
The roof will be a Jeff question. Jeff, any update on the roof of the tower?
He was asking about two.
No. Central.
You guys tell me how you'd like me to pay for it, and it'll probably happen faster.
Okay.
Your
Well,
budget.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
I know. Ron said out of your budget.
It's gonna fall in soon, we're not gonna have a choice.
I know.
Or you need to get a contract with the state,
Well, right,
DRI, that needs to,
we do, but we're gonna need to repair this roof probably before that, so.
well, I mean,
Absolutely.
I understand that.
So, we're gonna have to figure it out. Rusty's got his hand up, maybe he's got an idea.
Sure. That's what you want me to do.
We're not telling you that yet. Rusty,
Jeff, can we tarp that roof in some way?
No.
Okay.
I mean, if
do we know how much money we're looking at? Like, do we have an estimate?
Say that again.
Do we have an estimate of how much money we need to spend to fix that leak? / whole roof?
Fix it or to fix it.
Well, according to when Delta looked at it, it's not the whole roof, it's just around the clock tower.
Right. But do we have a dollar amount on that yet? Or
No, I don't.
we don't know how much money we're looking for.
Is that bell still up there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what about the removal of the bell? Can't? Hard.
I thought that
That'll
was,
alleviate some of the weight that's being put on the roof to avoid collapse.
well,
So,
sprained it.
We can just lay the bell somewhere else.
Delta looked at the tower. The tower itself is stable. The bell is not. So
I think we should save the bill.
The biggest risk is the bell, well, obviously the roof
You
leading,
can split that with the steam.
Yeah.
the bell coming through
Right.
wherever it's gonna land.
That's got to be easy, $1,000.
Can we pick where it lands?
Do you ever use the bell?
I would say take the bell out.
Take the bell down.
We could display that with the steam or something, if you want to display somewhere.
Or in the park.
Look, some fake bell.
We gotta get the bell out there.
We get the bell out there.
Fixed.
Gold color, Baltic gold.
So I guess we need to get some cost estimates on that, Jeff.
The bell needs to come out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody get a crane and take it out.
So Mayor, one of the things, of course, right, is that the village is planning on using DRI money for the project, and we don't want to commit anything to it until we know that the DRI contract is even going to get signed. But insofar as this is like a project, I mean, you need to get it done. It's just a question of when, not if, and how you're going to pay for it, not are you going to do it at all. And so the DRI folks we know are willing to, or they've said that they would backdate the contract to earlier this year, basically January. And so if you figured out how much you would need to spend to fix it, borrow the money, anticipate that you might have to pay the loan off or the bond off for 10, 20 years, and if DRI money doesn't come through, but at least you'd be able to get it fixed, and your first payment on the bond wouldn't be due until a year from now. And so if the DRI money comes in the next year, then bully, great, you pay it off, and if not, then at least you fix it and you figured out what it's going to cost for the 10 or 20 year period that you borrowed it for. I mean, probably like a 10-year term would be my guess. I mean, that might be $40,000 or $50,000, $60,000 a year for the next 10 years, depending on what we're talking about. But
Okay, well, we need to get a couple estimates so we can
Yeah.
talk about it intelligently.
So I guess can we get some estimates on that, Jeff?
First, we gotta figure out what's actually wrong with it.
Right,
If we couldn't figure out where it's leaking,
right.
well, it's definitely leaking.
Well, yeah, that's for sure.
We can put the ladder truck up there, we'll find out where it's leaking.
Just take the bell, tell them to take the bell.
Let's figure out how we get, how we get the bell out and how we get to stop leaking, and what that's gonna cost, and to at least stop the immediate problem. And then we'll figure out how to pay for it until the DRI kicks in.
All right.
Anything else, Jim?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Let's see. Tracy, you got anything?
The only thing I have is the dedication plaque for phase 2.
Oh, that's right.
We need to figure out the names that are going on it, if we're even going to have one. And the reason I say if we're even going to have one, I did ask if it's required from the funding agency or anything to have one, and they said no. So the village could choose to not have one, change order for the, credit back for the amount that was put in for the sign.
Okay, but that's already budgeted in? Is the sign already?
It's already bought, due to the phase 2 contract, yeah.
How was the budget for it?
How much does it sound like this cost? Around that.
I don't know how much the budget, I apologize, but I did not ask that.
Well, it doesn't say it more.
Right, and I don't believe it's separate line item in the package or anything for it, so I never seen a purpose for that. The only reason I even asked if it was required is, you put a sign like that at a sewer plant, and there's only people that ever even come and see the sign. It's not like the park that gets a lot of traffic, a lot of speed that gets to see it. I just wonder if it's worth spending any money on it, but that's up to the board to decide, I guess.
That's true.
Tracy, would you find out how much the sign costs?
Yes, I can find this out, Rusty.
Thank you.
Do we need to make a decision on the sign tonight?
It needs to be done very soon, but if price is an issue, I can find that out, and then we can bring it up at the next meeting.
All right. So does everybody want to know how much the sign costs?
Yeah.
Then we'll do that, we'll look at the next meeting, I guess. So I know you gave us a couple of examples of different layouts of signs.
Would that mean to be in it?
Right, we took a picture of the one that is at the plan from the 83 upgrade, and then BCA provided, some different ones from some of the other projects they've done for about this time, so just some of the different options and layouts and stuff that can be done.
All right.
But I'll reach out to them tomorrow and find out what the budget for this particular time.
Okay.
And then I didn't know if we needed to get us the change order that was sent out. While I was on there. We're gonna do that.
Which change order?
I think it was change order 6, where they're looking for more money for the inspector.
Oh, yeah.
87 grand?
Yeah.
Because the current budget for him runs out on the 22nd.
And this budget 4 months is beyond me.
Yeah. The 22nd of June?
Yeah.
Run with that one.
Next week?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we should break up that then.
The current budget, that's how they estimated the job, they estimated it to that, to the T, and that money runs out the 22nd.
So
So,
they didn't put in for the job, a fee for the job?
basically they estimated wrong.
Yeah, by like 4 months. The job is not pushed out any further than originally thought, but now they're saying they're almost 90,000 under budget for this.
This
I
is
don't
for
see
the,
how.
this is for the construction inspector.
Right.
So, they want it was 80.
It was 87 and change.
Right, 87,000.
For what period of time?
From June to October. So we should finish the job out, but that was the parameters of the job in the first place.
Yeah.
My funding agency, the inspector has to be on site at all times. And also, BCA requires that they have an inspector on site. So he's dual purpose for EFC and BCA. So at the end of the project, they can stamp everything and say everything was under compliance. So it requires that there's somebody, an inspector be there.
Yeah.
I think part of the issue that BCA would identify is that when they, because I've talked with Corey Reed, I think, about this a little bit. He said that their estimate of the cost for the resident project representative was through the end of the project, but they anticipated there not being any work done over the winter months. So the contractor did work over the winter, which required the project representative to be on site during that period, which now ends up in not having somebody available or a budget for every single month.
I just wonder, they assumed anything in print saying they were not going to work for 2 months. Otherwise, I think they're liable for the term. Because everybody else had anticipated working, no time off.
I believe the contract identifies this as an hourly, position. It wasn't a lump sum, not to exceed fee. It was, they'd be paid hourly, and it was an estimate as to the amount of cost that we could expect, but however many hours got put in is the number of hours that would be charged.
I still struggle with it. The time frame's still the same, so then we would have been over budget in time by 2 months if we went by their figures. And I don't know if there's a consequence for going over time budget. I just feel like we're being asked an awful lot of money over the past year and a half from BCA.
I mean, it kind of comes back to the work that the contractor did over the winter. Is that something that should have taken place at that time, or is that something that could have been done, during the spring months when BCA had anticipated the work would be happening, you know, and I mean, I don't know what happened in those conversations to say.
My issue with that is, we had monthly meetings with BCA from beginning to end, through the winter. They never once mentioned not working. Why not? I mean, this is a $90,000 hit. We've already been hit for $150,000, which, yeah, is small, but if it's only changes due to core specs, why are we liable for that? It's not like they found an Indian burial ground, but it was unexpected. I mean, these are a lot of things which I feel could have been avoided.
You bring up good points. You know, and I don't know if you guys want to ask a BCA rep to come down and basically explain all this and ask them questions directly.
I mean, our thing, correct me if I'm wrong, they have us over a barrel here. We need this person to continue. Without them, we will be shut down until they are put back in position. Because we need some kind of inspector on the job site throughout the job project, I believe.
Yeah.
So, like with many change orders for the project, if you can't agree on the dollar figure to attach to it, but the thing is needed to continue with the project, you can say, listen, we're not going to sign on a change order, but you are directed to continue the work while we work out what the cost, if any, would be.
We tried that with the digesters, didn't work.
They covered that in the box.
Yeah, we told them to keep working throughout. And
Oh, I know.
they didn't do a damn thing.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that is part of the push and the pull on this thing. I mean, you direct them to continue if they don't have a resident project representative on site to do the project. Now we're delayed, and we'd say to BCA, you're responsible for the delay. You didn't move forward as we directed.
Right.
I feel like we're obligated to pay this and sort it out at the end. I mean, which we can't continue without him, so I don't know.
If the village board is uncomfortable authorizing it today, I'd say direct BCA